What's up? What's up? Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday. Hopefully, you're doing amazing. Good morning, everybody. Just want to jump on live, do some training with you guys before I go live with our students in our coaching program. But before I get started, if you haven't booked your solar strategy call yet, make sure you do that. Solarstrategycall.com. Solarstrategycall.com. What's going on? What's going on? As you guys are plugging in, represent. Where are you guys tuning in from? Where are you guys tuning in from? Let me know whether you're watching this live on a replay. Where are you tuning in from? I'm going to post a link there as well in the chat, solarstrategycall.com. Solarstrategycall.com. We're also launching a software. You may or may not know already, but we are starting to promote our software. It's called Solar Pipeline. So basically, Solar Pipeline is where it's a software that my team and I created. What's up, Ignacio from Riverside? What's going on? My team and I created. The vision is to help you make multiple streams of income or have multiple streams of income in the solar industry. Not only make money on the commissions from the solar that you sell, the solar systems that you sell, but also have other streams of income. Yeah, for me personally, I have about 7 streams of income in solar. And the idea is to dig deep in solar, right? My advice to you is not, look everywhere else and dig holes, tiny little holes in other different industries. Like really dig deep in solar, because if you're looking to make a financial difference in your life, solar is definitely going to be the route to do so. What's up, David? How are you, man? David from Texas. What's going on, David? And to dig in deep, right? Dig deep in solar. Check it out. It's called solarpipeline.com, solarpipeline.com. We're having specials in there as well. So basically just a overall view, high level view of Solar Pipeline. It's a software where you can get training, whether it's, door-to-door sales training, automation, helping you set up your lead management tool, helping you leverage videos. We have installers in there as well. There is qualifications as well to use our installers, just to let you guys know. You have to be a seasoned solar consultant, right? So if you're completely new, you definitely have to go through our training program first, and able to get access to our installers for you to sell directly with our installers. We have leads in there as well. There's opportunities where you can purchase leads, whether your budget, you don't have too much of a budget right now while you're working on your budget. There's ways you can actually purchase data. We teach you how to call data. We have more warmer leads, where we actually, run ads for you and we deliver those leads right to your pipeline. So there's different ways. It's literally a tool to help you grow your business. Because you guys already heard me say this time and time again. When you're a 1099 solar rep / consultant, you're a business owner. You own a business. You own a micro solar company in the palm of your hands. It's up to you to grow that business, because your sales manager or folks in your office is not necessarily going to teach you how to grow your business. They're going to take you to a certain level. But if you're not happy with that level, you have to invest in yourself so you can take it to the next level, whatever you're envisioning, where you want to be in solar and how much you want to make financially. You have to take it to the next level and get help and coaching, just like our Solar University training program, right? I'm still drinking my cup of coffee. Hopefully you guys are starting to wake up now as well. I literally just got up maybe hour and a half ago or so. I always try to clean the house a little bit before the kids all wake up and the wife wakes up, clean the house a little bit, tend to the dogs. And then from there, have a cup of coffee. But I had my cup of coffee a little bit late, so I'm having it along with you guys. What are you guys sipping on right now? Some of you guys it's fairly early, right? If you guys are over there in the West Coast, it's only 8 a.m. What are you guys sipping on? Well, what are you sipping on? Sipping on some gin and juice? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, so I want to go over the 4 pillars. Okay, the 4 pillars of solar sales mastery. There's 4 of them that you need to master. And today I'm going to be going over the first pillar. The first pillar is basically sales. Okay, that's going to be the first pillar. Sales encompasses a lot of things. It's not just like sitting in front of a homeowner and having an amazing pitch where you're closing, 40, 50% of those homeowners that you sit with. That's just part of it, okay? Because what happens is, you got to understand your outcome. Your outcome when you're sitting with a homeowner, whether they decide to move forward or not, it starts right. It starts when you get that lead. Okay. Make sure you guys are writing this stuff down. And when you guys are joining me in this training, make sure you guys are taking notes and implement these things in your business. Okay. Because a lot of folks think that, hey, you know what? My end result is just based on when I sit down with the homeowner, what I tell the homeowner, how I look, how I smell, the sales psychology I use. That's all I need to know and able to close this deal. And that's part of it. Okay. That's part of it. But that's not what's going to really help you become a 40, 50% plus closer. You're going to be like a 20 plus percent closer if that's all you're focusing on, right? Maybe high 20s or mid 20s. Okay. If that's all you're focusing on is basically when I sit down with a homeowner, what I do, what do I say? What's the methodical script? What's the proven recipe to close this homeowner? All I need is a script. That's part of it. Now you're like a 30% closer, right? Maybe even 25. So what you need to understand is also know how you're getting the lead. What is the whole customer experience from start of indoctrination? Like how were you able to get that lead? What is the starting point? All the way leading up to closing the deal. Okay. As you can see that if you think about it like a timeline, the timeline is here. This is when you got the lead. Whether you got this lead at the door, you got it at the farmer's market, at Home Depot, Best Buy, Leslie Pools, BNI meetings, online. Maybe you reached out in a Facebook group. Maybe you went live in your personal Facebook page. Maybe you're running ads on social media. However you got this lead, it starts here. Okay, this is where it starts. And there's milestones along the way. And the closing is here, right? I just put up my dry erase board. And I'll eventually use the dry erase board as well. This is probably a better visual. Starts here, ends here. Okay. The last part is when they make a decision over here on this side. Okay. So you got to visualize like little milestones along the way and what is their experiences along the way. And depending on that experience along the way, it's going to dictate here on this side whether they're moving forward or not, whether you're going to be a 50 or 60% close rate. Because when you're 50, 60% closer, you're there, right? That's going to be the pinnacle of your close rate is a 50 to 60%. It's not going to get any better than that. Okay. Knowing that, and that's an amazing close rate if you're 50, 60% with cold market leads, right? Obviously, if they're warm, friends, family, that's like 90% close, right? So cold market lead, 50, 60% close rate, you're already at the top of your pinnacle as far as closing, okay? What's up? What's up? What's up, Ryan? What's up, David? How are you guys, man? What's up? I am Daniel. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, so and I'm gonna read you guys' comments there in a second. If you guys have questions, comments, just put it there in the chat and I'll read them here in a second. So if you're a 50 to 60% closer, you're already there. Okay, you're already there. So what happens is, right, and I'm gonna tie it back again to this timeline. What happens, and I'm gonna talk about this tomorrow as well. What do you do with the 40% that didn't close? Okay. That's when when we're talking about automation, that's when you're taking it to the next level. Okay. Now you have a really smooth system because you're not going to leave money on the table. Because when you're 50, 60% closer, you feel like it's okay, right? Like, you know what? I'm good. I'm a 50, 60% closer. I'm closing, 5 out of 10 deals. The heck with the rest. I'm moving on to the new leads that I have. But imagine really understanding the whole life cycle of a homeowner, because not only does a homeowner have a lifetime value, whether you closed it or not, the ones that didn't close, those have a lifetime value as well. Okay. And I'm going to break that down to you tomorrow. And tomorrow is really, really important. I really want you guys to understand is your follow-up game. Okay. You probably heard this before, maybe from your sales manager, maybe from other colleagues. What does your follow-up game look like? Because the wealth comes in the follow-up. Okay. The wealth is going to come in your follow-up. Because again, even if you're a 50% closer and that's really high, you already hit the pinnacle of closers. What do you do with the other 50%? Okay. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Really, really important. So the life of the indoctrination of this lead based on the experience, right? The experience they're having along the way after you get the lead to sitting down with a homeowner and closing them or having them make a decision here at the end. When they make a decision, it's all going to dictate on what their experience is. A lot of people, what they do is they book the appointment, not really solid. They don't have the authority and the posture to be like, hey, Mr. Miss Smith, you're doing them a favor. Okay. You have the ability and the power to reduce their electric bill. They don't at this point. But a lot of people, when they're getting at the door or they're at the door or talking to homeowners, maybe during the discovery, you're giving away too much of your power because the power isn't within you, because you have the ability to help this homeowner reduce their electric bill, but you have to have the confidence and the posture to feel like you have that authority to help this homeowner. A lot of times we feel like, and maybe our mindset is at the mercy of a homeowner. Okay, I have to book this appointment. And oh my gosh, this is it. I gotta, or else I'm not gonna pay for my bills or whatnot. And we lose the posture and authority, and the homeowner can feel that energy. But if you have the posture and the expert authority in solar, they're gonna feel that like, oh, okay, it sounds like I can't, like, not everybody qualifies for this thing. And let me see if I do qualify for it. But again, it all starts in how you get the lead. How were you presented with the lead? Were you knocking on doors and you look sloppy, right? You have dirty shoes on, your shirt's all messed up, you got stains all over it because you just left McDonald's, you got ketchup stains everywhere? Or were you presentable? You look good, smell good, you got your polo on tight, and you're looking sharp at the door. You got an iPad, right? Or do you look sloppy? You need to evaluate yourself, because I don't know, because you guys seen this before probably, or experienced this before in your own lives when somebody knocked on your door and they're like, ooh, they look kind of sketchy, right? Why should I open this door? This dude looks kind of sketch. Versus you look in the peephole or your Ring app, you're like, oh, what's this guy got going on? Got his badge on, got a lanyard, polo shirt, right? Tucked in, got an iPad. Let me open the door for this person, right? Because he already has the perceived value, right? Because again, understanding like what is that customer experience from the front end, because that's going to dictate what's going to happen in the back end. A lot of people just focus on the close, but they don't focus on the whole entire process. So again, what does that experience look like? And then from there, what are you saying? What are you doing? Are you sending out videos? Are you saying we like to call it the dead time? Okay. The dead time just means that when you book the appointment, the day you book the appointment to the day of the consultation, there's normally a 24 to 48 hour dead time. So what do you do within that dead time? Are you building a relationship within that dead time? Are you sending out videos? Are you sending out value or sending out information to your homeowner during that dead time? Or what typical consultants do, they book the appointment, there's the dead time, there's nothing going on there. They're just waiting for the day of the consultation. Okay. And you guys know, as salespeople, and I don't like using sales, but I don't know, educators, solar educators, okay? You guys know, if you don't build the know, like, and trust, if the homeowner does not know, like, and trust you, they will not buy from you. Okay, as simple as that is, right? It's a simple concept, but it's hard to really implement in a business unless you listen to what I'm telling you guys. Okay, it's a simple concept, and you guys heard this time and time again: know, like, and trust. Know, like, and trust. Know, like, and trust. Oh yeah. I need the homeowner to know, like, and trust me. But the question is, what are you doing to build know, like, and trust? Maybe you're building know, like, and trust at the door. Okay. You're presentable. You smell good. You look good. You sound like you know what you're talking about. They trust you. They're starting to know, like, and trust you. And they're not fully know, liking, and trusting you there, but it's starting to build that relationship. Okay. You booked the appointment, dead time now. Now you're sending out videos. You're sending out information, more information about, your company, about yourself, about, testimonials, about people raving about you. Now you build even more trust. And you can see, working up to your consultation, it's starting to really build that trust level. Okay. Again, know, like, and trust. The concept sounds easy, but what are you doing to implement this in your business? Okay. What are you doing to really implement this in your business? Sorry. Okay. Understand this, because if the know, like, and trust factor needs to be here, enabled for you to become a 50% closer. Okay. And you're here right now, you're at the door. You need to start building this up, right? It's steps and tiers to get up there. It's not just going to be one big leap. It's going to be little steps, little tiers, where the homeowner is starting to trust you more and more and more, because you're strategic about it. Okay. You're strategic. You're sending out videos. So during that dead time, you need to be sending out videos. And you're wondering, like, what kind of video should I send out? Make sure that you check out Solar Pipeline, solarpipeline.com. We teach you how to do these things. Okay. We teach you how to do this. If you're hearing it from somewhere else, this is literally imitation. I've been stressing this to my students for years now. Okay. We literally created this strategy in the solar industry. Obviously, we learned it in other industries, but we coined it in this industry, which is solar. Okay. So think about 2023. And if you want to take your business to the next level, you have to be doing things that nobody else is doing. Okay. You have to be doing things that nobody else is doing. There's so many other consultants getting in the solar industry, right? New consultants. That's totally fine. There's enough to go around for everybody. As you guys know, the housing market's not the best. Real estate's not the best. Car sales not the best. Other door-to-door industries not the best. Solar is the best. Okay, solar is the best, meaning that because it's the best industry to get into to make a significant income, there's a fluctuation of folks getting out of the other industries and getting into solar. And guess what that brings? Guess what that brings? It brings competition. Then that's not a big deal, right? Competition is not a big deal, but you also need to understand, because there is now competition, the water is getting bloodier. That means that you need to go and do things in the blue ocean where the water is not so bloody. You have to do things that separate yourself from everybody else. While everybody else is doing this, that, and the other, you're doing something different. Okay. And that's what we teach in our solar strategy calls, in our coaching program that we're going to have here in a few minutes. That's what we teach, and how to separate you from that bloody water to the blue ocean, where it's more just you. No one's doing the things you're doing. So even if you're third consultant at the consultation, maybe you're fourth up, third up, second up, whatever that may be, you stand out because you're totally different from everybody else. And guess what? When you stand out, more than likely, they're gonna go with you, right? Because you stand out from the rest. You're not just doing the typical sales pitch that everybody else is doing. You're doing the things that we're teaching you to do to separate yourself from everybody else. But more importantly, you need to understand, because I can go on and on. We could sit here literally for weeks at a time. That's why we have our coaching session. I have a very short period of time with you, but I definitely want to drop some nuggets in you so it gets you moving in that direction. Okay. And that direction I want you to move towards is, what do I do during this dead time? What do I do during this dead time? And what you need to do during that dead time, from setting the appointment to the day of the solar consultation, is you need to send out these videos. Okay. I can't stress that enough. And it should be all automated. In the beginning, when I started sending out these videos 8 years ago, right? I've been in solar for 7 years out of 8 years of solar. I've been doing all my deals all virtually. okay, all virtually. And what I used to do in the beginning, because I understood the idea of building the know, like, and trust, and our coaches at the time told us, hey, send out videos, but I didn't have any automation. I would literally have to send out videos manually, right? 48 hours before, 24 hours before, the day of the consultation. I would have to time these things. And it made it very, very difficult to do that. But now we have automation for you, right? It's already pre-built out for you. We're going to help you create these videos as well, right? So it's so during your consultation, or when you get to the consultation, they know and like and trust you a little bit more. Okay, a little bit more, because we're going to get you, if the pinnacle of the know, like, and trust to be a 50% closer is up here, and you're currently here, we're going to get you like 3/4 the way up there. And the rest of it is going to be during your consultation. Okay. Imagine if we get you the know, like, and trust, like 3/4 of credibility as far as know, like, and trust. And the only thing you're doing is you're taking it home the other quarter. Okay. You're taking it home based on the presentation that you're giving a homeowner, because now there's already a know, like, and trust. And now you're just taking it home the last leg of the relay. Does that make sense, everybody? Just type in yes if that's making sense, okay? Just type in yes. If it's not making sense, it will start making sense, right? As you watch these live training every single day that I have with you guys, it will start making sense. It may not make sense now. You may have an idea of what I'm talking about, but if this is making sense, type in yes. If this is making sense to you, type in yes. Whether you're watching me live on a replay, just type in yes. Awesome. Awesome. I'm just going to read some of the comments here, and we're going to keep moving on, okay? I don't have that much time with you guys. I literally have our VIP coaching accelerated training in 30 minutes. I got to get ready for it. These are for our paid coaching members or students. I just want to read a couple of comments here. Awesome, awesome. Ignacio, Ryan, yes, yes, yes. David, yes. Awesome. How about the rest of you guys? You guys don't agree? If you don't agree, just type in no. It's all good. It's your opinion, right? I don't get upset, man. Everybody has their own opinion. You could say yes, you could say no. You know what I mean? Sales are good and important. I need more encouragement there. Can you talk about some nuts and bolts of the hardware department? What's the best solar system, grid tied or battery, battery, generator, off grid? So this is from Ryan Phillips, right? So for me personally, right, and don't get me wrong, some solar consultants, they lean more on the equipment, right? Material, equipment, product knowledge. You need to know product knowledge. But for me personally, and this is my personal opinion, I know folks in the industry that are doing amazing with leaning more on the product knowledge, right? I honestly feel there's a fine line on who you're speaking to, whether or not you're going to talk about, you're going to be more analytical when you're going over a lot of product knowledge, versus somebody that's not so analytical and doesn't need to know all the product knowledge, just needs to understand what the equipment does. Does that make sense, everybody? Because for me personally, and what we teach our students in Solar University, because we understand not everyone's going to be an engineer, not everyone's going to be a lawyer or doctor. Okay. The majority of the population, they're not so analytical. Obviously, when you run into those type of professions, in your mind, you already know, like, okay, this person is going to be analytical. They're probably going to need a lot of product knowledge. They're probably going to ask a lot of questions about equipment, about the warranties and guarantees, and the type of wire is in the system, right? Is it a copper wire? Is it aluminum, right? What is it coated with a blue plastic liner, or is it red plastic liner? What is the conduit made out of, right? You're going to get those type of questions with more analytical people. And that's why it's really, really important. Okay. Before I answer this question, I'm going to go roundabout way a little bit about it. Hey, George, awesome, man. So go roundabout way about it is during your discovery call, right? This is your first interaction on the phone with this lead. Okay. Your discovery call. Maybe you got the lead online. Now you're calling them. Okay. I'm going to give you that example. This is your first discovery call. So during the discovery call, it's called discovery call for a reason. Okay. So it's easy to just ask the homeowner, hey, just out of curiosity, what do you do for a living? Okay. During your rapport building, during your discovery call, it's easy enough to ask conversationally. It doesn't have to sound like you're taking a survey, right? So what is your profession? How much do you make? Right? It doesn't have to be that way, because when it sounds like you're taking a survey, right? Or you're on a script and you're writing these things down, they may be like, oh, it's none of your business, dude. I mean, you just called me. It's easy enough to be like, hey, that's awesome, man. So you got kids? That's awesome. Just out of curiosity, what do you do for a living? It's conversational. And when they tell you what they do for a living, it gives you some ideas on which direction you're going to go during your presentation. Okay. A lot of folks don't necessarily use or excuse me, ask questions to gather information, to use that information as ammunition for them so they know how to approach the consultation. Think about like playing football on a higher level, the NFL. Those guys are looking at video and plays of their opponent that they're going to play. So they know what they're going to do to countermeasure some of the plays that the other opponent has. Same exact thing when you're jumping into a consultation. When you're taking your sales to the next level, everything that you do is strategic, down to your discovery call, down to the questions you're asking, because you're strategic about how you're going to present the information based on the answers that they give you, based on your questions that you ask them. Okay. And that doesn't have to be during a discovery call, it could be throughout your consultation. A lot of folks are not intentional about what they're doing. That's why they're not taking it to the next level. You're not going to make multiple six figures, millions of dollars unintentionally. You're just going to stumble into it. Everything that you need to do from this day forward has to be all intentional. So to answer Ryan's question about product knowledge, just first and foremost, understand who you're speaking to. Okay. And don't get me wrong, not every single engineer or lawyer or doctor will be analytical, but it gives you a starting point. And then based on the questions they're asking you during your consultation or during the discovery call, it just solidifies whether or not you have to have product knowledge during this consultation or just basic knowledge of how the system works. Okay. So as far as our sales pitch with Solar University, we tailor it. We tailor it based on who you're speaking to. But let me go answer Ryan's question as far as if someone's analytical. If someone's analytical, we still use the exact same pitch, but instead of me trying to explain the flex capacitor, the conduit, is it a copper wire inside that black wire, or is it in the green wire? Is that copper? Instead of me trying to answer those questions, because I personally want to steer away from it, because I can get caught up in it, because that's not the way I want to educate the homeowner. I always let the homeowner know, hey, that's great. Those are great questions, Ryan. I don't want to give you the wrong information. Right after this consultation, I'm going to give you the spec sheet. Does that make sense, everybody? I'm going to give you the spec sheet, because what happens is if you're going to tit for tat with an engineer, okay? If you're going to tit for tat with an engineer and your personality and you're not analytical, like me, I'm not analytical. I don't want to tit for tat with someone analytical, because they're going to catch me, right? They're going to catch me off guard. And now I'm going to have to BS my way through it, because with folks that are analytical, they just want to show you that they know more than you as far as the product. Okay. So instead of trying to get in that conversation, what type of wires are in that green wire versus the black wire? Great questions. I don't want to give you the wrong information. Let me send you over the spec sheet. You see how easy that is? Some folks, though, don't get me wrong, some folks love to pitch the analytical product knowledge of this business. Okay. They can get through it because they have the skills and ability, and that's what they really like, is the product knowledge, but because they're analytical themselves. So you have to also understand your style of presenting. My style of presenting is not so analytical. If they ask me what's an inverter, hey, that's a great question. That's the heart of the solar system. It basically converts the energy from the solar panels to usable energy that you use to power like your fridge. Okay. Imagine this question being asked to an analytical consultant, and they're speaking to a person that's not analytical. Okay. Imagine how difficult this is going to be on the homeowners and trying to understand what the heck an inverter is, because the consultant knows so much about the product, and they're talking about the blue wires, copper. The other one is beryllium. The flex capacitor goes in one direction. It goes to AC to DC. Then it goes over underneath the main panel. Then it travels to the main source of the what you see what I'm saying? It gets too complicated, and it starts muddying the water. But don't get me wrong, if you're an analytical type of person, have some ammo in your back pocket, know some of the product knowledge. But what we teach our students is the product is not going to sell. That's not that's going to sell the product. Obviously, you should have amazing products. You should have tier one products, solar edge inverters, end phase inverters, amazing battery options, right? You should have those things. Don't get me wrong. And most solar companies do, but that's not what's going to sell it. What's going to sell it is when a homeowner understands what the heck they're talking about, what you're talking about, actually. And if you get too analytical because you just know all the analytical aspect of the solar system, that doesn't necessarily lead to a sale. Okay. I'm not saying it won't lead to a sale, but depending on the audience you're speaking with, the majority of the population are not so analytical, right? My wife is a lawyer by trade, and there's not too many lawyers out there. There's not a lot of doctors out there, unless those are your target market. Then you know how to speak to them. But if your typical market are just working folks like myself, give me a layman's term on what the heck these equipment, what it does. I don't need to know if there's a flex capacitor in there or not. Does that make sense, everybody? And product knowledge makes you sound good. Okay. Makes you sound like a professional, but it may not lead to a sale depending on who you're speaking to. Does that make sense, everybody? Depending on who you're speaking to. So understand during your discovery call, who are you speaking to? Do your homework, do your research. And then from there, you would know how to position the consultation or how to present the consultation based on the knowledge that you know and the questions that you asked. Hopefully that makes sense, Daniel. Or excuse me, Ryan. I always refer back to the spec sheet. Every single module, every single inverter, every single battery, everything that you need as far as the equipment itself has a spec sheet. So I would always say, or have it on your computer. Hey, Mr. Smith, I just shot it over to you via email. There's all the spec sheet. You can read over it before your site survey. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. And again, I'm not discouraging like pitching based on product knowledge. I know folks out there that are their pinnacles of their careers, and they really highly focus on product knowledge. And they would say the total opposite of what I'm saying. But this is the way I present, and this is the way that, our closers or our students are getting, 40, 50% close rate results because of this pitch. And again, there's so many ways, right? If you're learning martial arts, there's so many martial arts out there. There's karate, there's kung fu, there's jiu-jitsu, right? There's so many different ones. It's just choosing the one that you resonate with instead of changing your whole personality, the way your brain thinks. Instead of changing all that, just learn your personal style and how you sell and how you educate. Okay. What's up, Daniel? Daniel's drinking his coffee. I forgot. I got my this coffee is literally full. Usually when I jump on the line, I'm already done with this coffee. But yeah, he's drinking some coffee. What's up? I am Daniel. I'm just gonna read some of the comments. And then from there, again, make sure you guys book your solar strategy call. I posted the link there in the chat. If you haven't booked your call yet, solarstrategycall.com. We're going to help you set up your processes as well. If you want to learn how to create those videos from the start, right, to consultation, if you want to fill in that dead time, with videos to build your know, like, and trust, make sure you book a call, solarstrategycall.com, or you can also check out solarpipeline.com, solarpipeline.com. Okay. So, David, I learned the hard way that unless you spend 80% of your time growing, learning, and practicing, might as well not even try to sell to a homeowner. No one trusts a solar specialist who fumbles. Absolutely, David. Absolutely. I had a lot of trouble learning the script for my first new solar job. I learned it, but still comes out a little robotic when delivered. Does this go away with time? Any suggestions on how to speed up the process? Yeah. So who sounds robotic, right? Tell whether excuse me, whether you're David, where you got a script and you're still sounding robotic, or you've been in the solar industry for a few months now, a few years, but when you first got started, you sounded robotic. Raise your hand or say yes. Who sounded robotic when they first got started? Right? I'm gonna raise my hand. I'm gonna be the first person to raise my hand and say yes. So eventually, yes, it will go away. Okay. So a script is a skeleton, right? And based on that skeleton, you have to put in your own flair and your personality. But don't get me wrong, certain parts of the presentation, even with Solar University, the pitch that we teach our students, even though we tell and teach our students to use their own flair and their personalities, there are certain parts of the pitch where it has to be done verbatim. Okay. Verbatim meaning that it has to be presented word for word, exactly what the script says. But that doesn't stop you from using your own personality. Okay. So when your script doesn't sound like a script anymore, then that's when you're ready to start closing deals. Okay. When your script does not sound like a script anymore, and you have to make it your own. Let me give you a story. Okay. When I first got started. When I first got started solar, I sound like old grandpa now, right? When I first got started, listen here, Kitty. All right, listen here, David, and you listen here, you guys. When I first got started in solar 8 years ago, okay, 8 years ago, when I first got started in solar, my sales manager at Solar City gave me a script, just like you guys right now, right? You start a company, here's the script, learn the script, okay? Gave me a script. He said, learn the script, memorize it. I'll meet you in Starbucks tomorrow before your consultation. We'll go over part of the script and then we'll go to your consultation together. Okay. So cool. I was like, the script was kind of long. I was definitely nervous. I'm like, dude, I'm not sure if I'm going to remember all this in one evening, but I'm going to do my darn best. So I did my best, learn as much as I can. Obviously, I didn't know it all. I had the gist of it. Went to Starbucks in the morning, had a couple cups of coffee. Not a couple cups. I only drink like one cup. So I had a cup of coffee, sat there, role played for maybe an hour or so, asked a few questions, and then from there, we headed out to the consultation. Okay. So when I was at the consultation, asked the homeowner, can we sit over in the coffee table? I'm literally here at the head of the coffee table, right? You guys imagine this. I'm at the head of the coffee table. The homeowner is to the right of me. And keep in mind, it was only the lady. Now there's a problem. There's a one-legger, right? Sitting there in front of the homeowner on the right of me. My manager was literally sitting on the other head of the table. Okay. So we're like head to head. So I can see him. Like I have direct sight of him. It's not even gun sight. I have direct sight of him. And the homeowner is here to my right. So I'm going through the pitch. And keep in mind that he told me to learn it verbatim. And I can't deviate from the pitch. It has to be verbatim. So I'm going through the pitch. I'm stumbling through the pitch because, again, the humor and the pitch was based on his humor, his personality. And I'm going through it. I'm stumbling and stumbling. I look at him. This makes the matter even worse. I look at him across the table, and he's rolling his eyes at me, right? He's rolling his eyes at me. I'm over here stumbling with a homeowner because I'm using a pitch that he told me that I have to pitch verbatim, and I couldn't use my own flair and personality. So to make a long story short, right, this is comedic, but to let you guys know and let David know, yeah, it's going to sound robotic in the beginning, especially, right? Especially if you don't put your own flair to it. So to make a long story short, we finished the consultation. Homeowner was not moving forward, right? I was like just stumbling through the whole darn thing. Homeowner was not moving forward. Got to think about it, whatever she said. Maybe, I had to talk to my husband, whatever, right? Because one-legger. So we leave, we go back to Starbucks. He's like, bro, you freaking blew that one. I'm like, I know. And he's like, why do you think you blew it? I said, the reason I blew it is because the skeleton or this pitch was made based on your personality, your flair, your humor. And I was trying to be you, and I wasn't being me. Okay? When you're not yourself, it's harder to be not yourself. It's harder to be somebody else. Okay? It's really, really hard to be somebody else. It's really easy, though, to be yourself. When you're yourself, your personality is going to show. Your humor is going to show. You're going to be able to build a stronger connection because you're authentic and you're real when you're yourself. So again, and I'm not saying this to change up your whole pitch, David, and to everyone that's watching this, there's certain parts of the presentation of the pitch, even ours with Solar University, where you have to do it verbatim, but it's not the whole thing. Okay, it's not the whole thing. And yes, you will sound robotic in those parts where it's verbatim, but eventually it doesn't sound robotic anymore. The more and more and more and more and more and more and more you practice, you just get better at it. But the idea is to get better at it using your own personality, getting better at it just by being you. Because again, even if you use the pitch and you're getting better, but it's still not your personality, it's not your flair, it's not your humor. Yeah, it may sound good, but you're going to lose connection. Okay? You're going to lose connection because some parts of the pitch where we say it's verbatim, there's a reason. Okay? There's a reason. Our whole presentation, there's always going to be a reason. We don't ask questions. We don't do anything just like unintentionally. Everything has an intent to it. Okay. All of the questions you ask, everything that we do, whether we're looking up, down, clapping hands, it all is intended for something. Does that make sense, everybody? Does that make sense, Daniel? David. Does that make sense? So basically, use your pitch as a skeleton, use your own flair, your personality, because even if you're able to duplicate that pitch and it's not you, it's not your flair, there's going to be one big thing you're always going to be missing is the energy and the connection, the authenticity. Okay. Because the authenticity is where you're going to connect, right? That's when you're going to connect. When they feel like you're authentic, you're just a real human being. This doesn't sound like a pitch, even though obviously it is a pitch. When you can build that connection, the authenticity, you can't fake that authenticity. Okay. It's very hard to fake because they're eventually going to sniff you out eventually. But if you're there to really help a homeowner reach their goal, because at the end of the day, Zig Ziglar said this, right? If you can help as many people reach their goal, you're going to reach yours. If you help them first reach their goal and you're there to help and you can build that authentic relationship with a homeowner and they feel like you're there to help them, even if it doesn't necessarily work out for them, it's all good. Because what happens is if you can build an authentic relationship and they feel like you're really looking out for them, and even though they didn't move forward at the time, you're going to get a whole lot more referrals because you were looking out for the homeowner. Okay? Look out for them first, and then your bankroll will start increasing because you're looking out and helping people first. Because the more you help people, the more your income will grow. And there's no other way, right? You can't really help yourself first because you help yourself first. That's when your income stays really, really low and you stay broke because it's always just you. But when you help somebody first and your heart is there to help them and to see if this is a good fit for them, then your income is going to start growing because it's not about you. Okay? It's not about you, boo. You guys heard a lot back in the day? It's not about you, boo. Okay? Hopefully this stuff's making sense. And these are the things that we dive in deeper in our coaching program, whether you join us in Solar Pipeline, where they're more like video type based coaching, or whether you join us in our accelerator training, where it's coaching from me personally, where we literally help you individually reach your goal. That's the importance of it. That's the biggest difference when you're getting coaching directly from folks that are already doing it. So you'll have personal coaching with me, and we're live on the line, and I'm helping you grow your business. Okay. Awesome. Makes sense. Thank you. That's what my mentor said, was to just learn it verbatim, and then I won't be thinking about the script, and my personality will come out then. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Thank you for all the value. Absolutely, David. You put your flair and your personality into the script, okay? That makes sense, everybody? So again, if you guys haven't booked your solar strategy call yet, make sure you guys do that. solarstrategycall.com, solarstrategycall.com. And eventually, we're really going to be promoting our solar pipeline. Okay. So imagine right now, right? Imagine this. Imagine, maybe you're working for a traditional company. Imagine having, say, 10 people that you personally recruited into that company. Obviously, it's great when you can get overrides, right? You get overrides from the deals. Hopefully, you guys are making thousands of dollars in your overrides from these deals. But imagine if you could get a passive residual income, actually, with this 10 people that you brought on board. Okay. Imagine if you can get that passive residual income because they're a member of Solar Pipeline. Okay, they're a member of Solar Pipeline. That 10 members is close to almost $1,000, right? What would you do with an extra $1,000 a month? Would that pay for your car note? Maybe rent? Maybe part of your mortgage? Maybe your kids' education? Maybe that's your dinner or whatnot throughout the month when you're taking your wife or your husband out. Imagine if that's all paid for. Maybe your car note, or excuse me, your cell phone bills. Imagine what that can do to you where it's more passive. And imagine if you go more a passive income. And that's what I really want to stress to you as well, is eventually learn how to make more passive income in solar. And that's what we're teaching you in Solar Pipeline. Because for me, when I was selling solar, like that's all I was doing, it was very difficult to just sustain that lifestyle, right? Because you have to constantly sell something. And you have to sell something every month, obviously, to get paid, right? If you sold nothing the month before, you get nothing the following month. And that's rough, right? That's rough. That's like a 1-for-1. You put one in, you get one out. But imagine if you put one in and you get one out every single month, right? And it pays you over and over and over again. Yeah, Ali, check it out, solarpipeline.com, solarpipeline.com. So basically, we have training in there. We have leads. You could purchase leads, from cold leads to warm leads. We have installers in there as well. It's literally a one-stop shop to really grow in your business, right? To build, grow, and scale your business. That's what Solar Pipeline is. We have demos and things like that as well. We're going to start having webinars as well, Mondays at 5 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 7 Central, and 8 Eastern. On Mondays, we're going to start having webinars just to really promote Solar Pipeline. Check it out. It's also a tool where you can manage your leads. It's a tool to send out videos. Remember, I was talking about dead time and things like that. When you have that dead time, we help you create those videos to send out to your homeowners. You really have to, I want to stress this to you guys, right? You really have to not only invest in yourself, right? Learning, educating yourself. You have to invest in tools to help you grow your business. Okay. You have to invest in tools to automate so you can leverage technology so you can grow your business. Because a lot of folks think like Go Solo or Aurora or a design tool is a tool to grow your business. Yes, in a sense, it grows your business because you can create obviously solar designs, but Solo, Aurora, or any kind of design software, it doesn't necessarily help you like grow and cultivate relationships with your homeowner. Okay. It doesn't send out videos for you. It doesn't manage your pipeline. It's a tool to design systems. Okay. You can log into it. You see all your deals in there. Great. But imagine automating your process. And this is what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Imagine having an automation. And that's why I really need you guys to sink in as well. Automating your sales process. Because I'm going to leave you with this. And I have to jump on my coaching session. And we'll talk about this tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is a really important topic. You have to really automate your sales process, because imagine once you hit a 50% close rate, because ideally that's already the pinnacle, right? The pinnacle of your close rate is 50%. If you're doing 60 or 50% more, that's awesome. But let's just keep it at 50%, because 50% is already amazing, okay? You're closing 50% of your deals. You're sitting down with 10 homeowners every single month, 10 solid consultations. 5 says yes, 5 says they got to think about it, okay? Obviously, a no is not a no. It's a not right now. Okay. They got to think about it. Those 5. So 5 every single month times 12, that's 60 homeowners that had to think about it or said, no, not right now. Right. That's 60 homeowners. Within 12 months, with those 60 homeowners, 30% of those 60 will move forward. Okay. 30% of the 60 will move forward. So that means there's 18 homeowners that will move forward eventually throughout the year. If you can be top of mind with that homeowner, because you did all the legwork already, right? You already sat there for an hour, 2 hours out of your life. Might as well stay connected with these homeowners, because again, 30% out of the 60, that means that's 18 homeowners that will eventually move forward. 18 times, say for example, $5,000 a deal. Let's just use that as an example. And again, that's just an example. I'm not guaranteeing any type of income. Just to let you know, right? I don't want to get in trouble by you or the internet police that I'm guaranteeing things. This is just an example. So 18 times 5,000 average a deal, that's $90,000 more that you would have had without any additional work, because you already put in the work. The only work you're doing is obviously setting up the systems in the front end. Okay. And then within the front end, because your systems are tight, you're not leaving money on the table. So imagine last year, think about this. This is the homework for you. How many homeowners did you sit down with? Okay. Not did you close. How many did you sit down with? And subtract the number of homeowners that you closed. Okay. Subtract the number of homeowners that you closed, and just add up the ones that you did not close, but you sat down with. Get 30% of that number, multiply it with the amount of commissions that you would possibly make an average, and that's how much money you left on the table. Okay? Because what happens is, if you're not top of mind, they're going to call somebody else when they are ready. And you don't ever want that to happen, because your wealth is going to come into follow-up. So imagine that. Say, for example, you made $100,000 because you closed the deals in the front end, and then you made another 100 grand collectively. Now you made about $200,000 collectively from the immediate deals that you closed, and also the follow-ups that you did, right? Automated follow-ups. And now you made over $180,000, $200,000 because you have a system in place. Okay. I always like to tell everyone, it may not be a lead problem, because a lot of folks want leads, and more leads. I totally understand. But before you start, bombarding yourself and buying leads and knocking on more doors, make sure that you have your systems in place, because it may not be a lead problem. It may be a lead management problem. Does that make sense, everybody? If you don't have the systems in place to manage leads, why keep on filling your pipeline with more and more leads when you don't or can't even manage the leads that you currently have? It makes no sense to me. You have to be able to manage the leads that you currently have already, and you're maximizing every single one of those leads, because every single one of those leads are going to have a lifetime value. Whether they move forward now or later, they are going to move forward eventually. And knowing that statement that they will move forward eventually, what are you doing to stay top of mind? And the way to be top of mind is make sure that you sign up for Solar Pipeline, invest not only in yourself, invest in software to grow your business. Okay. Think about Facebook, Oracle, TikTok, any type of software that you are using, they invested in that business. Okay. That's why they're taking it to the next level. Like Netflix, they're investing in servers, advertisements, and everything else, salespeople, back end people to make sure that the customers are happy. They're investing back into their business. So enable for you to really scale your business in 2023. You're not going to do the same exact things you did last year unless you're happy with that. And again, you shouldn't be satisfied with, don't get me wrong, be grateful and happy, excuse me, grateful for what you have, but also think about scaling it this year. And the way you're going to scale it is the things that I'm teaching you. Okay. So again, make sure that you check out Solar Pipeline, solarpipeline.com, invest into it, invest into your business. And tomorrow we're going to dive in a little bit deeper in automation. Okay. We're going to dive in a little bit deeper. Other than that, you guys have an amazing day. Make sure you book your solar strategy call, solarstrategycall.com, and you go check out Solar Pipeline. All right. You guys take it easy, everybody. Peace out, everybody.